The Arsenal unbeaten side of 03-04 will always be viewed as one of the greatest sides to ever grace the Premier League. But they were not the first English side to go a league campaign unbeaten. That honour goes to Preston North End, who all the way back in the 1888-1889 season managed to go the entire domestic campaign unbeaten, not just in the league but in the FA Cup too. Preston North End produced one of the first great English sides and one of football's earliest sensations. This is the story of Preston North End, the other Invincibles. Preston North End were founded in 1863, originally as a cricket club. They would move to Deepdale in 1875, which has been their home ever since. The Football League had just been founded when Preston would enter in 1888. The league system had been formed as a mean of giving teams a guaranteed amount of fixtures for a campaign, as the FA Cup could not promise large amounts of fixtures due to its knockout format. Preston had been one of the first clubs in English football to go professional, hiring Scottish players to turn out for their team. Preston had impressed the season before, partaking in a large amount of friendlies throughout the campaign, but unfortunately lost in the FA Cup final to West Brom. Despite having nothing to show at the end of it, they greatly impressed in the friendlies they partook in, scoring an incredible amount of goals, including a 7-0 win over rivals Blackburn. They would travel all over the country for games, which wasn't easy to do back then, and when travelling to Blackburn, they would often do so in horse-drawn carriage. The first Football League season would comprise of 12 teams, with each side playing each other twice, home and away. Preston had a great side, including the scoring exploits of Jimmy Ross, an inside right who had scored 241 goals in 223 friendlies for the Lily-Whites, and John Goodall, who had netted 172 goals in 160 pre-league fixtures. In fact, every single forward at the club had a positive goal-to-game ratio. But the key driving force behind Preston's success was William Sudell. Sudell had spent time playing for Preston before retiring from the sport in his 20s. Such was his influence that he held many roles at the club, including chairman, secretary and manager, whilst also owning a mill. He scouted Scotland for the finest footballing talent, and initially exploited the loophole of players not being allowed to be paid for playing the sport by offering them a job at his mill, so that they could earn a wage and turn out for his team. On the 8th of September 1888, the first ever English First Division fixtures were played. Preston's first game in the division saw them to a 5-2 win over rivals Burnley. At this time, the league had many teething issues, but it was only part of the way through the season that the point system was introduced. Preston would hit the ground running and scored 25 goals in their first 6 games. They continued to blitz their way through the league, with 7-0 victories over Stoke and Notts County and 5-0 wins over Derby and West Brom. Preston finished the league campaign as the first ever winners of the English First Division, and they did so without losing a single match. In 22 league games, Preston won 18, drew 4, lost 0, scored 74 goals, and finished 11 points ahead of second placed Aston Villa. John Goodall was the first ever First Division top scorer, netting 20 goals in 21 appearances. It was an incredible showing from Preston. They had stormed their way to the title in pretty much perfect style, but there was a chance for even more. Preston had reached that year's FA Cup final and had found their way to it just as easily as the league title. They beat Bootle 3-0, Grimsby 2-0, Birmingham St George's 2-0, and they got revenge on West Brom for the previous year's final by beating them 1-0 in the semi-final. Preston had reached the final without conceding a goal, and they would face Wolves at the Oval. It was never in doubt for the Lily-Whites. The Preston players were so confident of victory, they asked the referee if they could pose the trophy before the game. Fortunately, this did not backfire at all. Captain Frederick Dewhurst opened the scoring in the 15th minute, before Jimmy Ross and Samuel Thompson netted to seal a 3-0 win and a double for Preston North End. It was the perfect way to finish what had been a perfect campaign. Preston had set the footballing world alight, and their influence on the development of the game was huge. Their 2-3-5 formation was copied by other teams for many years afterwards. Many may try and compare Arsenal and Preston's unbeaten campaigns in a debate to see which is better, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Both were incredible achievements during different periods of football history, so it is best to simply sit back and appreciate the respective achievements. Preston North End's Invincibles were the first truly great footballing side. Their main man, John Goodall, is described as football's first superstar, and William Sudell was crucial in the development of professionalism in football. Football may be a hugely different game now to what it was then, but what Preston achieved by going through the first ever First Division campaign unbeaten and winning a double will forever be an iconic chapter in the history of the beautiful game.